What's up, guys? It is Tuesday, February 6th. It's 12:36 p.m. and this is the crypto newsletter. It's been a bit, but we're getting back into it. So crypto news is about to be a thing again at Stargate on a daily basis. Missed a whole lot of stuff, but hey, we're at least riding that trend up. And now that the market's kind of been sideways, now's a good time to get back into the news, the narratives, and kind of uncover what could be brewing under the covers here. So if you're new here, subscribe to the notification bell, leave a like and a comment. We're going to go into some Ripple XRP news, some macroeconomic news, some other coins news like Hedera, and so on, some charts as well too. So starting off with it, this kind of goes in line with the market update I put out this morning. So this chart is looking like we're acting like the 2016 to 2018 bull market cycle. And that's kind of the fractal pattern that I had found in this morning's market update as well too. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It was from earlier today. But this is kind of where we're at. And it looks like that, we've already went past the point of a double bottom retest. And we're more in this kind of sideways accumulation phase, just going sideways, calm before the storm, before all of a sudden, bang, we have a little pop up, come back down a little sideways again, and then we just full on go in send mode. So in comparison, think about like this right here. Think about if it was stretched out. That's kind of like what we're doing right here. And that's what happened back in 2016 to 2018. This upwards slant was more stretched out rather than in 2020 to 2021 bull market. It was kind of just a lot of, it was like a slingy yo-yo up and down, and then bang, we just sent it. This one is more methodical, kind of dragged out, slanted upwards, and all of a sudden it's going to just go, go, go. So we've been doing that slant upwards, and it's just going to be something that pops, and then we're just going to go, go, go. I don't see right now at this point any substantial black swan like that to bring us down to, 15K, but we still got to remain vigilant and be on top of the streets and the tweets here. But I saw this chart earlier today. I found this very interesting. Also, what I cover in the market updates, the blue and the pink. The blue got above the red here. Bang, we sent it. And for the second time since 2016, we just saw that happen again. So very interesting times ahead. We're at the precipice of the biggest bull run of all time, in my opinion. And I don't think it's going to come from Bitcoin. I think it's going to be the biggest bull run of all time for some select altcoins here. So now let's go into the next thing, because we have another chart to kind of line up with a different perspective, which is the 2020 to 2021 bull cycle, which we saw with Ethereum. We had our double bottom here. We had our horizontal resistance. We popped up, retested it, went sideways for a bit, and then just sent it. We had our top, came down, double bottom, had our horizontal resistance, popped up above it, going sideways, and then all of a sudden, bang, it just goes. So we're at this stage in comparison, and it's going to happen like that. All of a sudden, something happens, and we just send it up. So that's kind of in line with the scenarios. We're just in this kind of phase right before the big shoot up happens. And then if we go to the next article here, we have Ripple prepares to expand payments business in the US. Ripple says it's planning to expand its payments business in the US. Right now, 90% of the blockchain company's business is based outside the US, and that's due to the SEC lawsuit. But after being relatively quiet for the past 3 years in the US for Ripple payments, we're geared up to announce new product updates powered by our money transmitter licenses that cover the majority of the US states. To launch this effort, Ripple is hosting an event tomorrow at its new headquarters in San Francisco, featuring representatives from payment firms such as Aiden, Marcata, and Plaid to discuss the company's blockchain and payments outlook. Segovia's announcement comes weeks after Ripple announced it had updated its crypto-enabled cross-border payment solution. The newly enhanced Ripple Payments, formerly known as RippleNet, lets businesses leverage the blockchain easily for quicker, cheaper, and more efficient cross-border payments. Since the start, Ripple focused on creating products that solve real problems for real customers. This evolution of Ripple Payments represents an extension of our long-running work to optimize the cross-border payments experience through transformative technology. And there we go. So now we got we see the tokenization of real-world assets as about as exciting as anything out there. If you apply the technology to industries that have been around forever and are fraught with manual processes and illiquidity and latency, there are some real opportunities where so much cost can be taken out of the equation. You can get pretty clever as these use cases unfold. And man, we're just at the beginning. And then we have a week to remember. So this week we got some things coming up. There's a new moon February 9th, 3 days, but Chinese New Year February 10th, the Super Bowl February 11th. And I'm curious to see if we see some crypto ads on the Super Bowl. I'm sure we're gonna maybe some Bitcoin ETF ads from some of these conglomerates. But yeah, so Chinese New Year, we got the Super Bowl as well too. We're going to see some crypto related stuff in that. But then we have It's a War. The mystery of Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto is about to be blown up. This is from JP Morgan. This was 2 days ago. Here it says the legend of Satoshi Nakamoto, the mysterious anonymous Bitcoin creator who disappeared from the internet in 2011, has sparked wild speculation over the last decade, including that he could suddenly destroy Bitcoin entirely. Bitcoin, created by the author of the Bitcoin white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto, in 2008, has grown to a near $1 trillion asset and spawned thousands of rival cryptocurrencies. Now, after a surprise Bitcoin transaction triggered reports that the Bitcoin creator had woken up, a computer scientist who claimed for years without proof to be Satoshi Nakamoto is about to have his claim tested in court. That's Craig Wright. So Craig Wright, after orchestrating an elaborate but unconvincing demonstration in 2016 that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, has spent years dragging naysayers through the courts in a largely unsuccessful attempt to legally be recognized as Bitcoin's creator. Bankrolled by former gambling billionaire Calvin Ayre, Wright has sued Bitcoin developers, podcasters, and anonymous social media users who said they didn't believe he is Satoshi Nakamoto. And then alongside his legal campaign, he focused on a fork of Bitcoin, Bitcoin SV. Yeah, let's keep going down. So the trial began yesterday, and it conclusively shows that he is not Satoshi Nakamoto. And then if we go down here, let's see. Think of it as a modern day tech battle akin to the Blu-ray HD, even older readers. Yeah, this guy ain't Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know why he would go out. Why would he be anonymous at the beginning and then say that he is it? So that's just fluff right there. But this is some real stuff, because as part of a 5-year agreement, 5 years, we're talking 2029. See, there's some coins that I could tell you right now, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but in my opinion, guaranteed to be here by 2030. And these are the cryptos you want to be invested in. HBAR, for example, a 5-year agreement valued at $250 million with the Saudi Ministry of Investment. The Hashgraph Association has announced the launch of the Deep Tech Venture Studio, empowering companies to develop innovative technological solutions. Yeah, we're talking about XRP being here till 2030, HBAR being here till 2030, XLM 2030. And as the money printer prints during this whole time, there's more dollars in the system, but there's a limited supply of these digital assets. But there's unlimited demand for the use cases of these digital assets and the blockchain networks. Price has to reflect that, right? So in time, everything's going to pan out. So digitalization is a powerful force of emerging markets. This is the Bank for International Settlements. But digital divides persist. Quality improvements and decreasing income inequality are strongly linked with digital technology adoption. Targeted subsidies are one option to extend digitalization. Let's dive into this. So tracing the adoption of digital technologies, this came out today. So in recent decades, expanding internet access has benefited economic development, particularly in emerging markets. At the same time, digital divides persist, excluding many people from the benefits of digitalization. Factors like income inequality, market competition, quality improvements, and affordability can influence the adoption of digital technologies. To narrow the digital divide, understanding the contribution of these factors to the adoption process is key. And the contribution, this paper analyzes the adoption of smartphones, which are essential to access the internet in emerging markets. It builds a framework of demand and supply to identify the key factors that drive smartphone adoption. It also proposes policies to narrow the digital divide and expand smartphone adoption. This framework can be used to study the adoption of other digital technologies as well. And then if we go down here, internet-based digitalization has ushered in a new wave of economic development in emerging markets, but persistent digital divides still exclude many from the benefits. To narrow these divides, it's important to understand the factors that shape the adoption of digital technologies. In this paper, I developed a structural model of consumer demand and supply to understand the main drivers of adoption of an essential digital technology, smartphones. Through counterfactual simulations, I quantify the role of growth in income and income inequality, expansion of 4G network coverage, foreign entry, and improvements in device quality and shape of the smartphone market. So yeah, with the more people that have smartphones or access to the internet, the more people that are now in this digital economy. And that's what they're pushing for. The more people with a smartphone have access to financial services, has access to, anybody in the world selling something online. We're heading into this new world, man. Everything's digital, everything's remote. And digital currencies being borderless and seamless in transacting across borders are perfectly positioning themselves to be that medium of exchange. So then we have Secretary Janet Yellen calls on Congress to pass crypto legislation. Now let's hear it.
Runs on crypto assets. Council is focused on digital assets and related risks, such as from runs on crypto asset platforms, coins, potential vulnerabilities from crypto asset price volatility, acting outside of or out of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Applicable rules and regulations should be enforced, and Congress should pass legislation to provide for the regulation of stable coins and of the spot market for crypto assets that are not securities. We look forward to continuing to engage with Congress on this. With this overview, I look forward to taking your questions on these.
So there's a whole lot of stuff in there jam-packed. Worried about runs on exchanges, runs on stable coins like Tether or DII or TrueUSD. Also getting clear regulation and guidelines for cryptos that are not securities. XRP already has been declared not one. Bitcoin declared not one, but everything else, it's still up in the air. So, regulations could spell trouble for most cryptocurrencies, but there's already been the chosen one, XRP, has been classified as not a security. Bitcoin, obviously not a security, but I think XLM's tied up in that boat too. You can't say XRP is not a security, but then say XLM is. If anything, XLM is more not a security. So XRP and XLM have the safe, in my opinion. So yeah, once regulations pass, it's going to be very, very interesting what unfolds from it, because a lot of coins could be considered securities. We'll have to see how that pans out, and we'll track it in real time. Then we had Tucker Carlson interviewed Russia's Vladimir Putin. The interview will be online very soon. Whole lot of stuff happening in the macroeconomic world, political world. I think King Charles got diagnosed with cancer or something. And then now you got Tucker Carlson interviewing Vladimir Putin, talking about how, they're not enemies with us. It's really the enemy is within the United States. A whole lot of stuff is getting ready to unfold. It's an election year as well, too. Definitely. There's never a day short of news. Let's just say that. But then, also China stock market was melting down. And then I think today there was an announcement from the president that sent it to be the biggest gain in the stock market in China in a day. So a whole lot of stuff going on. But then China, this is today, tightens leash on non-bank payment firms. The Chinese government has implemented changes to regulate non-bank payment service providers in the banking sector as a whole. As the Lunar New Year fast approaches, the national calendar is not the only system bound to enter a new era in 2024. In a bid to combat fraud within its banking system on December 17th, China's State Council unveiled rules on the supervision and administration of non-bank payment institutions, which will take effect in May. So definitely some stuff's going to unfold from that. I can't go into this whole article, but very interesting. All these changes are taking place now and are going to be unveiled this year. Then we have the Fed Chair Powell says U.S. government is on an unsustainable fiscal path. Says in the long run, the U.S. government is on an unsustainable fiscal path due to its ballooning debt growing faster than the economy. Moreover, the Fed chair cautioned that there will be some banks that have to be closed and merge out of existence. Yeah, this problem ain't going away. Money's got to continue to be printed for the system to not collapse. And with that, dollars will, in real value, continue to get less purchasing power. And these scarce digital assets, especially since we're moving to a digital economy, are only something needs to give, and price would need to go up if the demand is there and if that asset is limited in supply. So the writing's on the wall. And as you can see, the national debt just ballooning, absolutely ballooning. Then to finish it off, we got this, which is, whether you believe it this or not, I'll have you know you are not allowed to say it on here, folks. Take cover. So the XRP price has already been set by the IMF and it's in the thousands. The official price of gold is set twice a day, 10:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. I think Green Mountain time or London time. This is called gold fixing, and it's decided by the LBMA. Man, that reminds me, the Moscow World Standard. We're gonna have to get back to that. We were covering that a lot last year. But let's play this video. We'll end it off at that. Let's hear it.
And they found a solution.
When we talk about the price of XRP, we have to look at the debt. And central banks have an incentive to dissolve that debt right now,
And they found a solution.
which is blockchain. They actually are going to, in my opinion, based on the research, and also I can confirm this, that the International Monetary Fund has already agreed on a price before all this integration started to happen. So this was a few years ago. They agreed upon a price, and I got a lot of information from Linda P. Jones has a friend who worked at the Central Bank of Australia, and she said that they agreed upon a price, and it's in the thousands. Now, when we again talk about the XRP price, we have to look at the global debt, the incentive for central banks to dissolve global debt, in fact, also to utilize this liquidity, source of liquidity from XRP to facilitate, moving into the digital economy. This is what they're going to be using. XRP is a financial instrument to serve the global economy.
So imagine that. And I fully, not financial advice, I do believe that XRP will be $1,000 to $3,000 by the end of this decade. But you know what you hold for XRP. I want you to visualize and just dream for a sec about kind of if it hit that $1,000 price point. What are you doing? Who are you seeing? Who are you telling? What are you getting? How are you living, right? I want you to dream, hope, and ultimately it will pan out, I'm telling you. And the funnest part is before it all happens, when you can dream and visualize and hope. And then when it does pan out, now you're prepared and ready to execute on what you had planned and visualized from the beginning. So I hope you guys have a good day. That was a little crypto newsletter. We're going to get back into it strong. And then also too, I'll put the link in the bio for the free Opportunity Crypto Accelerator course. It goes through 7 different missions. There's like 13, 18 videos in here, whatever it may be. But it gives you all the fundamentals to know where you're at in time and how big the opportunity of crypto is, so you can hold through this roller coaster ride. I'm telling you, man, it's not easy. Don't let people tell you are lucky, because it ain't luck. It takes a lot of mental, physical, spiritual energy to get through this ride. But if you're still here today, then congratulations. So I'll see you guys in the Discord. Link is in the bio for that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.